a man to chase you when he has especially lost interest. Now, this is really, really important. If a man has lost interest, you want him pursuing you, you want him chasing you. And there's certain ways that you can do this using your natural, authentic, feminine energy, and you don't have to do anything manipulative or things that are going to be outside of your boundaries or your comfort level in order to get a man to pursue you. Now, I am live with this. I love doing my lives, and I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. So I'm going to just pause for a quick second and make sure, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, I'm getting a few in the comments. I'll edit this out later, but I just wanted to make, excellent, you can hear me. Fantastic. So let's talk about when a man loses interest and what that is about and what's happening to him when he's losing interest in you. So overall, men pursue women, and when they get what they want, they can lose interest. They can naturally begin to pull away. And there's just also something that happens in relationships where we get kind of used to each other and we take each other for granted. But there's also the situation of when a man pulls away after you've had sex with him and you're still getting to know him, you're dating him kind of regularly, and he pulls away and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get this man back into my life? I just realized how much I like him. How can I get him back? So I want to share a few things that have worked for myself, my clients, using feminine energy tools and principles. Now remember, feminine energy tools and principles are not about being a doormat. They are actually about using your own power as a woman, these natural traits that you have that balance masculine and feminine energy. So the man is pursuing, he's moving towards you, and the woman is receiving. All right, so this is masculine, feminine, depending on your gender, but masculine pursues, feminine receives. All you have to do to understand how this works is look at your sexual reproductive organs, or look at how an egg works inside of a woman. The egg sits and waits, and the sperm finds her. Now, first off, you might notice I got some bandages on me, and it's because I do a little bit of feral cat rescue, and I got a hold of some kittens that got a little wild. But worry not, I'm okay. Don't be alarmed by my fingers or my hands. I've got them bandaged up. They're perfectly fine. Thank you for asking. So let's start with a quick story about something that happened with my husband and I regarding him pursuing me sexually. All right. I love to get vulnerable with you guys. I love to share my own personal life with you because I absolutely am transparent in that, my relationship is not some, perfect, I'm sorry. I don't know how to get this off my screen. My relationship is not some perfect, flawless relationship. I keep it very real for you. I let you know that we do have problems. We have squabbles. We have issues where we're having different seasons of our relationship. But early on in my career, a big thing that I thought feminine energy was that a man needed to be pursuing me sexually. And I would often get emails from women. And I had one client in particular who was ready to leave her husband. And she was someone that read a lot of romance novels. And in these romance novels, the woman is always getting pursued by these men and ravished. Now look, ravished is not the word I want to use. There's another meaning to it. But I think if it's consenting adults and you want to have this rough sexual experience or whatever, that's fine. But that's what she thought should be happening like all the time. And then I too kind of fell into this world of like, you should be worshiping me all the time. You should be like wanting to rip off my clothes and just make love to me. And I really bought into that I thought that that's what masculine and feminine energy would be like. And even to this day, I get emails from women who are like, my man is not pursuing me. And then I find out more, And it's just like, oh, he's not worshiping you and ripping your clothes off. Now, I do think on some level, a man, they need to worship you. That needs to be part of the deal. I'm a big believer in that. I love to be worshiped. Some women don't. But I want you to understand that at some point I spoke to my husband about this, and I said, I really want to be pursued. I really want you to, let me know. We had a conversation, and it feels so good to be pursued by you. It feels so wonderful. And he said, okay, no problem. As soon as the conversation ended, he kind of lingered for a second. He said, so is now good? And I was like, oh, I'm just not in the mood. I'm tired, whatever. He goes, okay, well, I'll be asking again. So the very next day, like a little bit after lunch, he was like, so, I'd really like to get you in the bedroom. And he kind of grabbed hold of me and, went in to kiss me. And I just wasn't in the mood. And I was like, oh, babe, it's just, I got a million things on my mind. I'm sorry. And so this happened a couple more times. And I noticed his energy transferred to that of kind of like a little wounded, sad puppy. And so that is the thing I want to start with about getting a man to chase you, is that if you turn him down energetically, or even with your, no, if you turn a man down enough, they actually naturally begin to pull away. They naturally begin to lose interest. Now, there are some coaches that'll say the more you turn away from him, the more he might pursue, and he might. But a lot of men are a lot more sensitive than we give them credit for. And so you tell them no enough, you give them enough of this energy. You see, I'm pushing you away at this point. The man's like, hey, I get it. I get it. And they turn away. That is natural for masculine men to do. So here's what my husband and I ended up doing in the end. That was, I told him, I said, let's talk about this again. I love the idea of you pursuing me. However, I don't like telling you no all the time. And let's go back to the way things were. And here is the way things were and are. In 18th century, Victorian era, there was something known as drop the handkerchief. And drop the handkerchief is how women would let a man know, I'm interested in you. I would like to get to know you. And if the man, beelined it across the street to pick up her handkerchief, he accepted the offer to speak with her. Now, sometimes men would actually get in arguments over, like, I picked up this handkerchief, and it was like, no, it was meant for me. And you see that competitive energy that men can have. That is where your power is that you are something, you have something a man wants. It's in demand. And if you give too much of it away, it loses some value and potency. Sorry, but it does, even if you're in your 20s. And if you pursue too much or turn it away too much, the opposite happens. So Victorian era women got it right in that you signal a man and you let him know when you're in the mood. For me, this is really powerful because I can start signaling my guy at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I can let him know. I can do something or touch him in such a way and say, oh, tonight or this afternoon, it's on, get ready. Or later, I might let you F-word me. That's a big one that I have in my book, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It never fails. I get messages from women who are like, I used your script and it blew my husband's mind. And that is, I might let you me. And you tell a man that in such a way, and that's like all he can think about. So another thing you might be experiencing is that you're chasing the wrong man. And if you are chasing or desiring or wanting the wrong man, he's not going to pursue you no matter what you do. And if he does, he's going to kind of use you for his own purposes, and you will end up very hurt. So one thing men can do a lot better than women do is they accept no as an answer. They will accept no as an answer. Just like my husband, I was saying no, no, and he was like, okay. He started to lose interest in me. Women, on the other hand, we get activated in our masculine energy, and a man is telling us no, and we're like, I gotta have you. It's gonna be you. I know. I talked to a psychic. I talked to my friends. I love you. No one's ever gonna be like you again. And you end up pursuing and chasing the wrong man. So all that does is cover him in your energy. And he feels it all over him. And he's like, what's wrong with this girl? I've told her no. She needs to get off my jock. She needs to back up. And that is one of the worst things you can do for your energy as a powerful, powerful dynamite woman. And that is pursue a man who is not interested in you. So make sure you're not chasing the wrong man. Now, here is the next part of this. Make sure you're not pushing men away either. This is a big, big, important thing, because so often I hear tales of things like, oh, I want a guy who's going to be ripping my clothes off all the time. It's unrealistic. Oh, I want a man, he didn't remember what food I liked. He didn't remember my birthday. He forgot my name on the first date. I mean, the list goes on. And it's like this unforgiving drill sergeant, micromanaging characteristics, over functioning, that, again, powerful dynamite women get into. And that's when you're in your masculine energy, because you're in that over functioning, super powerful place. And ladies, if you're watching this video and you think you have an ounce or an iota of ball busting abilities, and you probably have a lot more. And there's a reason you're watching this video. If you're watching a video about how to get men to chase you, it's because you have something in your energy that if you want something, you go out and get it, and you make it happen, and you don't take no for an answer. That's all well and fine in business. It does not work with men. It does not work with masculine energy men. It'll work with a feminine energy man. He's like, great, I'm attracted to you. You've got lots of masculine energy, the stuff I don't have. And he's gonna want you. But if you're pursuing the wrong type of man, the man who is not right for you, you do something I call you muck up your energy. You muck up your energy. And that's when women come to me and they're like in their 40s, and they go, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't find a good guy. I've dated men and it doesn't work out, or I choose the wrong guy, or, they always have some reason. And I think that they have had years of this powerful dynamite energy in masculinity and not femininity, and they're confused about how to get this on track. So I was one of them. I was like, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I make a good living. Why can't I keep a guy? Like, what's wrong with me? I'll tell you another person. I think she's married now, but Taylor Swift. There's other women out there. There's a really famous comedian that's female who's notoriously single. It is because she is a super powerful dynamite woman, and she doesn't know how to turn it off with the career and have space for the guy to pursue her. And that is the problem. This is why a man is not chasing you, because you are not allowing him that space to chase you. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Let's go a little bit deeper, because a lot of you're going on a date with a guy and you're like, I want to be in my feminine energy. I really like this guy. So if you're already really liking him and you're like, oh my God, I talked to him on the phone. I had a client once write me this super long email about a guy. And I said, that's amazing. How many times have you guys been on a date? We haven't met yet. But I know. No, you don't know. You don't know because you haven't met him. So men love to chat with women online and see how low you will go and how you will lower your value and how long they can chat with you until their wife finds their phone or they lose interest. Look, don't fall for this stuff, okay? So I have programs on my website, everheartcoaching.com, like the ABCs to get him back, Fem Tools for Dating. I teach you my proven dating protocols, and these work because I have a method where I know what men are up to. I know how they test a woman, and they do. Even good guys test a woman. You know, they really, really do. Early on in dating, I remember once Jeff was like, oh, I forgot my credit card. And I was like, well, you need to pay me back. You know, I was on it. And I was like, I feel very uncomfortable doing this. I like you, I enjoy dating, but I feel very uncomfortable doing this. If we're on a date and you're asking me out, and he was like, stop right there. I'm going to pay you back immediately. And he was like a little upset about it. So this goes back to like, be in your feminine energy, know your boundaries. But you have to make sure you don't hand them their balls. And that is the hard part for women to know how to balance. Is how do I not beat this guy over the head, but also be in my boundaries? So let's talk about some feminine energy values you want to have in your energy and things you want to practice with men, all men, so that you can be in this receiving place, but also very firm in your boundaries. Now, here's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Learn how to take a pause. When you learn how to take that pause, space, now you're listening to me, right? I've given a pause, and then you're moving in. So be willing to have a pause, take a moment, find what you're feeling, and choose your words very carefully. Now, I teach you how to do this in 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, the link's below. But some things that you can do with a man so you don't end up in this rut where you want him chasing you is learn how to listen to him and let him lead. When you listen to a person and you're not only just hearing them and like going, oh, what can I say next? But you're finding what you can feel. That is the key to feminine energy right there. So if a man says, hey, it's our first date, I want to take you to a nice restaurant. And you're like, okay, you've heard it, you're excited, but then you're like, wait a minute, I should just meet him for coffee. I shouldn't jump into some big dinner. So now you have to find what you're feeling in your body, express those words. But if you would have paused and given it some time, then that man's like pursuing you. Some other things that women really need to practice, especially if you're a powerful dynamite woman, is you have to train yourself to be sweet, engaging, and kind, but also have your boundaries. So I am not always sweet, engaging, and kind to my husband. He sometimes will say the following to me: you could say that to me a little nicer. And it really, really gets to me. But I know he's right. I know I'm being in a way that's just bossy and assertive. And, I can be very New York and he can be very LA. And if you think about masculine energy, is New York more masculine than maybe like Maui or Hawaii? Yeah. New York is like ball busting masculine. Hawaii is very like, hey, go with the flow, or like, even parts of California is very easy, laid back, go with the flow. So that's where you want your energy to be, is in this easy, slower, laid back, kind, engaging, listening, but with boundaries way with a man. That will have him chasing you, and it drives him crazy because it's very simple. You're letting him be the masculine energy source. You're letting him do it. You're creating opportunities. But ladies, I will tell you, it is something to practice. It's very subtle, the way I'm describing it, but it is something you want to start practicing. And if any of you have a question below, I'd love to take your question and possibly just give you some advice about how you can get a man to chase you by actually pausing, taking a breath, finding what you feel in your body, and choosing your words. I can teach you my formula for this. You can also love my formula for this in 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. Now, if you have slept with a man and if he didn't call you the next day, this is a bad guy. All men know if you sleep with someone, you call the next day. And if he doesn't, he is a power tripping narcissist. Unless he ended up in the hospital or something like that, he is a power tripping narcissist. Be very careful of a man who does not call you or reach out to you the next day after sex. All right? Now, if you've slept with him too soon and you're feeling like, oh God, I really like him, how do I hit the reset button? Well, you actually do hit the reset button and you use this script. And if you want more scripts like this, again, 500 ways to talk to a man. The script is, I really enjoy getting to know you, or I feel happy getting to know you and I'm curious to learn more. However, I need to tap the brakes on sex for a little bit. I want to get to know you better. I'm having such a fun time getting to know you. I need to tap the brakes on sex. Now, here's the thing. If you don't keep up your end of the bargain and you drop your panties anyway, he's like, this woman is low quality. He's not saying that, but he's innately, on a DNA level, he's feeling that. Another thing you can say is, you know, I had a great time the other night. It felt amazing, yet I only have regular sex with someone I'm in a committed relationship with. And you let him know that one. So I'm going to tell you two other things, is that to keep that man chasing you after the first date, do not play a game with him by not texting him and letting him know what a wonderful time you had. Do not play games with men. They know a game. They can smell it, and they will not trust you. They'll think, yeah, I think she's kind of playing a game with me. She did the whole didn't call me for 3 days. Don't play games with men. Be authentic, be who you are, and let him show you if he's the right man or not. So after a date, let a man know tonight felt amazing. Use a feeling statement from your body. I felt so relaxed with you. I felt so happy to spend time together. And also, if he pays for that date, say thank you. But if he goes, wow, you look gorgeous, you don't have to say thank you. Just say, oh, I feel so flattered. You feel. You only say thank you to a man when he does something for you, like move your sofa, pay for something, open your door, an action, or if he pays for something, okay? Again, Fem Tools for Dating, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. I can't tell you guys enough how much these programs are jam-packed with more information like this. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is letting a man get in the car and drive without you telling him where to go. All right? Don't tell him where to go. If he asks you, can you help me with directions? Yes, you help him. But do not do his work for him. All right? Let him lead during making plans. If he goes, yeah, I was thinking we'd go this way and stop here and do this and do it. Okay, that sounds amazing, unless it goes against your boundaries. And again, we're going back to being engaging, being sweet, being kind. Oh, that sounds really exciting, yet on the first date, I like to keep it simple and just stick to coffee. Or, oh, that movie sounds really fun, yet I'm really afraid of horror movies. You have your boundary, you see, but you can still be sweet and kind and engaging. Another thing is make sure you are engaging with men and listening to them and hearing them and not just thinking about what you're going to say next. All right? Because we can get so in our heads when we like a guy that we forget to actually connect with him. And that's where I want you to use my really, really get him tool, which is, he tells you, oh, yeah, I've been working my job and I'm trying to get ahead. I've been working really hard. It's tough out there. And look at him and see one emotion on his face. Okay, one emotion. Wow, you must be feeling really motivated, or wow, you must be feeling really pumped about your career. And you're connecting with him. Instead of like, I know, right? I know, it's like tough out there. I know, at my job, it's the same thing. You're not connecting, right? Okay. So be willing to do some of these things. These are not leaning forward. These are ways to drop that handkerchief and let him know I'm interested in you. I am letting you know what feels good to me. That will have a man chasing you. If it's the right man and he's not, you know, just playing with your heart, and you will have that momentum of that relationship always where he's chasing you, pursuing you. I will tell you, my husband chases me every day. He chases me from the moment I wake up in the morning. I can't even come downstairs and he's in the kitchen. He's already saying good morning. And I'm like coming down the steps. You see, he's chasing me. He can't wait to get to me. So that's what I have in my relationship. That is what I want you to do if that's what you want. And that's why you're watching this video. Okay, let's take a couple of questions here. All right, I'm gonna go to live chat and I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Hello, Adrienne. The last time I saw my guy was the 4th of July. We had a great time and made memories. He suddenly started ghosting me after that. He was ghosting you before the 4th of July. A committed, loving, long-term relationship, you don't date once per season. Okay? If you are in a committed relationship, you're going on regular dates. There's no ghosting. You're not in a regular dating situation, and you need to have the terms and agreements or terms and conditions chat with a man. And I teach you that in Fem Tools for Dating. Please don't make these mistakes, ladies. Someone said, mine won't even say good morning. Good. Keep leaning back. Get up in the morning, get your coffee and smile. Let him speak first. Let him speak first. Start trying it. And I'm gonna guess if you did that and you came downstairs and you're like, he'd be like, what's wrong? What are you doing? Why aren't you talking? What's wrong? Go, I don't know. Hi. You're being engaging, you're being sweet, you're being kind, you're being playful. These are all feminine things. Have fun with it. Things like that. I love questions like that because men are really fun to watch with some of these things. How do I stop wanting him to chase me? Wait a minute. How do I stop wanting him to chase me? Wanting him to chase me. I've considered unblocking him. How do you stop that? So I teach something called quantum dating, which is where you have 5 men in your rotation. So if you're in a loving, committed relationship, you've had the terms and conditions chat, you're aware of how often you're dating each other and getting together and hanging out and all that stuff, that's all been worked out before you said, yes, I'm only being faithful to you, then you need to renegotiate the terms and conditions, okay? And get your energy off of him. Date more men. Keep your options open. Remember, the first tip I gave you about getting a man to chase you is don't chase the wrong man. The first rule to getting a man to chase you is don't chase the wrong man. Okay, let's go back to live chat. Any tips on getting out of the comfort zone of being alone? I feel insecure since gaining weight after a breakup. How can I quantum date feeling this way? You know, years ago, and I mean, there's a study for everything, but years ago, I read a study about women that actually wanted to lose weight before they felt comfortable going to the gym. Okay, they wanted to lose weight before they even would put themselves in exercise clothes and things like this. And they found that if the women actually went to the gym anyway, even though they felt uncomfortable and their exercise clothes didn't fit them or what have you, that they actually would have that uptick in, you know, all the feel-good stuff, and they would start getting back on track. So here's what I suggest to you, is I think you got to find a nutrition plan and you got to find an exercise plan and get started on that. So you've gained some weight. You want to make some positive change in your life. This work begins with you. It can help if you also begin dating as soon as you get that kind of rolling and going. So make goals for yourself, such as I'm going to go to the gym 6 times, Put it in your calendar. I'm going to make sure I eat this, put it in your calendar. Make sure it happens. But then also, after that couple of weeks, getting yourself on track, start dating, because I think the dating will motivate you to do better with your life and meet your goals. Oh, that's very sweet. Someone saying, join iHeart Love Academy, Miss Bubbles. It's a safe, loving space. Thank you. I have a group. It is called iHeart Love Academy. It's private. You don't have to worry about, Facebook and all this stuff. And it's just a great way. I'm in there. I offer coaching. I have coaches, and it's a really fun community. So Craving Some said, I'm getting asked on dates, and when they say yes, they ghost me after the first date. Not sure, and it hurts. So I have a theory on this. And I believe if you are having that happen to you that much, that there's two things happening. Your profile looks good, you look good on paper, and then when they get around you, energetically something is feeling off if they're not interested. And I'm just wondering if you're feeling comfortable while you're dating. Because if you're not, you need to start with some lower tiered men. And by lower tiered men, I mean men that are not your type at all, that you totally feel comfortable with. You can go out and be like the rock star on the date, and they're like, I just can't wait to know you and date you again. You got to get a few of those happening in your life so you can begin to identify with that energy and what that feels like. And don't feel bad for these men, because they're getting practice, they're dating you, they're upping their energy in their world. But, after a date or two with the guy, you say, I just don't think we're a match, but it's been wonderful to date you and go out with you, and get your energy up. So I call that the non-applicable or the non-applicable man. It's a man that's like not really your type, not really who you'd go for, but date a few of those and just see how they pursue you. See how they pursue you. All right? Get that energy back in your life and memorize it. All right, everybody. Y'all have been amazing. Thank you so much for these vulnerable and very heartfelt questions. I want to help you more. I've been doing this for a good long while. If you go to the links below, you can get a free gift from me about how to script with men. You can get my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It also comes with a 2-day video class. If you're in a get him back situation where you want a man back in your life, I have the ABCs to get him back. That'll help you. And then Fem Tools for Dating. Every woman who's single or kind of in that dating environment, please, it's the lowest costing program on my website. Get that one. I'm going to go look at one more question here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want a guy that respects my boundaries. Oh, heck yeah. If he walks all over your boundaries, that is the surefire way to know that. I have a saying. It's like, if you really want to get to know someone, tell them no and see how they respond. And look, not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's going to respond perfectly, but you will know what you got, okay? My husband's not the best with no, I'll be honest. Okay, DF says, I went on a first date for coffee, but he didn't bring me a gift or flowers. How do I tell him that he should bring me a gift the next time and that I need an allowance? Are you serious? Come on, are you serious? Have you not learned anything watching this video? That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. You're not even in a relationship with him. You're getting to know each other. And here's what he knows about you. Damn, she wants me to bring her stuff immediately. That's unrealistic. I think that question was a joke question. All right. I really want to close this out with a more positive, realistic question, because that's a joke question. I don't mean to insult you, but that's a joke question. That's why you're single, if that's for real. Oh, she's on her way out the door for a date. I want to do something other than what our reservations are for. Is it okay to playfully say, let's go to this other place instead? Nope. You agreed? He made the plans. You said yes. You go. If the date is tonight, the deal is done. You're going to show up like this wobbly, wishy-washy, controlling, masculine energy woman. because that's what masculine energy does. Masculine energy comes in and goes, hey, game changer, changing everything up, get everybody's attention. We're doing something different. You said yes. That's why I want you to pause. I want you to find what you feel, and I want you to choose your words, okay? Okay. And no, a guy doesn't need to bring you a flower on a date. I don't care how old-fashioned you are. You have expectations. You have expectations of how a person needs to behave in your world, and that is unrealistic. You're lucky if a guy shows up for a date sometimes. To be very frank, no one has to treat us nice. No one owes us anything. You're very lucky if a man even shows up, all right? So I want you to peel back if you can and just be like, you know what? Courting is a process of getting to know one another, making sure we like each other. You don't show up having to give me things immediately without knowing me. You know, he doesn't know you unless you have a YouTube channel and he watches you, or a television channel, or you're a celebrity, all right? All right, good. She's gonna try something different. All right, everybody. Hey, if you haven't yet, please take a quick moment. Subscribe to my channel. It's totally free. You'll get notifications of when I'm live. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Even if a cat has scratched you on your hand, you can still smash that like button and give this video a thumbs up. And I love to hear from you in the comments if I missed a question, or you know what, you need to ask something differently. Ask below in the comments. And remember, I am in my coaching group. I'm in there, and so are some other amazing coaches. Come hang out with us. It's fun. And it's a lot less expensive than private coaching and things like this. And y'all are all welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go rescue some kitties. Save some kitties, but do not get scratched up. All right, everybody. Mwah. Sending you much love. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.